Welcome back. Well, let's look at another aspect of part of what the Senate also decided not long ago, that of not confirming the acting chairman of the EFCC. In fact, now there are those who are of the view that since Senate has done that, that they've got the powers to do that, and as such, the EFCC chairman has no business remaining, having lost his acting position. Is that correct?
Again, to be honest with you, I sympathize with the Senate, because if care is not taken, this set of senators will have, at the end of the day, exposed the National Assembly to such unfathomable ridicule, and to be unfortunate, to be a tragedy for the country. Every public officer, including the president, has his or her powers defined by the Constitution. The moment you go outside that, you have engaged in impunity.
Did they go outside theirs?
Oh yes.
How?
Look at this. Section 171 of the Constitution has vested the power in the president exclusively to appoint any person to hold office or act in that office, and the duration is not specified. And of all the positions listed there, positions to be occupied by public officers without any reference to the Senate, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, permanent secretaries, head of service, and heads of extra-ministerial departments like the FCC or the ICPC. With profound respect, in sending a letter to the Senate for confirmation, the president relied on Section 2, subsection 3 of the FCC Act, but that section has to be read subject to the Constitution. So if you do that, the Section 171 takes precedent over Section 2, subsection 3 of the FCC Act. So you then ask yourself, does the president really need to ask for confirmation?
Does he?
No!
So why did they send it to the
Unfortunately, I think the executive was not exposed to sound legal advice on this matter, with profound respect. Because in that section, Section 171, subsection 2, you also have positions of ambassadors and heads of our foreign missions. But that provision, that subsection says they shall be confirmed by the Senate.
Okay.
But in the case of the others, there's no provision for confirmation. Right. So, but assuming that interpretation is even wrong, right? Once you refuse to confirm, that has not annulled the acting capacity of such an officer. But you know what the Senate should do, with profound respect to the members, is to look at the limitations of their powers under the Constitution. And since they are planning an amendment of the Constitution, wait and effect proper amendment, because nobody could have envisaged that once the Senate rejects a confirmation, a Senate in Nigeria will say, oh, that name shall never be presented before us again. When in the past, there was a time when President Obasanjo presented the name of somebody 4 times. There was, I think, the head of NDDC, I think Mr. Ugoshuku, Oyoma Ugoshuku. The other one, Professor Borishade, Babalola Borishade. President Obasanjo presented his name 3 times for a ministerial position. If you now want to say, you can't use your rule to amend the Constitution But you can now, next time you want to amend the constitution, you can say, once we have rejected a nominee of the president, it shall no longer be represented, the nomination.
Okay, well, what about the fact that some argue that the Senate had no business considering the report of the DSS, but others in counter-argument say, why not? Because if the DSS report was relied on for the judges to be in court today, why can't they
to be honest with you, the executive simply played into the hands of the Senate. This Senate, with profound respect, was never going to approve the nomination of man. It's not possible.
Why?
Because not less than 50 members, with profound respect, are either standing trial or they are under investigation for serious fraud cases, corrupt practices.
That's the only sense of proving guilty.
No, it's not about that. In fact, the fact that you are standing trial or you are being investigated, you cannot sit.
What if they don't have a quorum?
No,
to consider
then you go and allow the law to take its course. Again, you may want to amend next time. But we are dealing with a house of about 109 members. If 15 are constitutionally disabled to participate in the proceeding, you don't then go ahead and violate Section 1 of the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, that you must not allow any matter in which you have interest.
What's the implication of this? Does it then mean that the 15, according to your words, can be interpreted as the reason why this rejection has been pushed forward?
No, I think Nigerians, and even the president, the government, does not appreciate what is going on. They haven't studied the Senate. The Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, ensured that Malam Nuhu Ribadu was removed when he was to be charged over the collapse of Society General Bank. Lamude was removed when he invited the wife of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Magu could not have been confirmed because the EFCC is investigating the allegation that 3.5 billion naira from the Paris-London loan fund had been traced to his account. So how can the House, headed by such a man, and the trial that is going on before the Code of Conduct Tribunal, all the witnesses are members of the officials of the FCC. So you can see that we're in trouble as a nation.
All right, that's where we have to anchor this morning. Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Obakwe, go ahead.